This was not by plan, but 3 of the 4 are farm boys. When he talks about hard work, we know what it's like to get up before dawn, work way after sunset to get her done. I was hoping we'd have a t-shirt shop, but they were closed yesterday. To have some t-shirts with "Get Her Done" on the back. Doug mentioned something. Most trends in our country come from the coast in. This trend of a tea party, people having enough, is coming from the heartland out. We've got the value structure, the philosophical base, the work ethic to have it done. And one thing, I don't know how it ever got instituted, was abortion. And I think of a young man coming up here today that has inspired me incredibly. A lot of you older people that only hear about young people on the TV and other things. Somebody shared with me the other day that the news media, you got to understand what they're selling. We're all selling something, people. The news media is selling gloom and doom. They want to defeat the young generation, but Drew Neuenschwander, a farm boy, is going to be talking with you today that had his mom practice abortion. Ask yourself the question, what would we be missing today? Drew Neuenschwander, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Huffman, and thank you, Mr. Baumann, and thank you for your service to our country. My name is Drew Neuenschwander, and I'm a recent graduate of BLUFFTON High School. Can you guys hear me all right? All right. Headed for Taylor University in August, and the nice thing about speaking in the middle like this is that you don't have to open up or close with anything really profound, so nobody is going to even really remember what you said anyway. For starters, I'm sure that I speak on behalf of all the organizers and the speakers today when I say thank you to each and every one of you for making this tea party part of your holiday plans. Just by showing up, you've shown the resilience, the political activism, and the interest in America's welfare that will be essential if we are to endure as a nation. The Tea Party and events like it are evidence that America has not given up just because America's core beliefs have taken a loss or because the Dow has fallen. Today is July 4th, 2009, our Independence Day. And we as Americans have only begun to fight for our freedom. Hard-working, concerned individuals like you, the people of BLUFFTON, are a key part of the remedy to our economic problems, just as God is the only solution to a nationwide epidemic of moral confusion. And I believe that we are in both. As we come together for a tea party this morning, I thought it might be beneficial to take a quick look back at that fateful day in Boston on December 16th, 1773, that started a movement toward conscience and nationalism, which has survived to this day, the Boston Tea Party. Now you might be surprised to hear me use words like conscience to describe a bunch of disgruntled colonists who let their tempers get the best of them and masqueraded as screaming Mohawk Indians, destroying 90,000 pounds of British property in the act of vandalism that caused a monetary loss of about $1 million by today's standards. But what I just described is actually a very inaccurate picture of the Boston Tea Party. The Sons of Liberty were extremely precise in designating their target and impressing their mantra, taxation without representation is tyranny. And how did they do this? Well, first of all, the Sons of Liberty distinguished themselves from mere rioters by destroying only the tea. No person was hurt in the Boston Tea Party. The 3 ships containing the tea were left without so much as a scratch. And when the Tea Partiers finished dumping crates, they swept the decks clean. Certainly, these were courtesies that a mob wouldn't have had the foresight nor the decency to provide. The Sons of Liberty saved face for their cause by maintaining their self-control. Today, it can be easy to get our minds set that our way is the only correct way of looking at a controversy, but let us not be so unmovable that we can't unplug our ears long enough to hear the voices of opposition. We can't let our beliefs prevent us from loving and respecting one another. If we do, then our work is in vain because we're antagonizing the very people that our cause aims to help. Second, the Sons of Liberty did not act alone. When they went out to destroy the British shipment of tea that night, they were accompanied by a crowd of Bostonian onlookers who stood silent vigil on the wharf. In standing behind the Sons of Liberty, quite literally, the common people showed that they supported what was being done. They also upheld the Sons of Liberty's banner by preventing some of their own members from pilfering the tea. In his journal, James Hawk, a young man who helped chop the tea crates open and dump them overboard, said that he awoke the next morning to find many of the crates out floating on the surface of the water. But what really struck him were Boston's residents who had gotten out rowboats, and they were dunking the floating crates with their oars so that nothing could be salvaged. The British governor of Boston knew that the public support for the Sons of Liberty was so great that he decided not to try them in court because he doubted he could even find a local jury that would convict them.